do we tie all of this information together? We've talked about male-female, we've talked about water, we've talked about consciousness, we've talked about vulnerability. What else have we talked about? We've talked about life with the cat, with Cat Grace. We've talked about passion. We've talked about empowerment. How does it all tie together? What is that? What are the threads? The threads, you ask. And then I said we have to lighten up. So we're lightening up here. And this is an example of the web. Because I have these stockings on today. And they are a web. If you get the drift here. And usually I have pictures of webs, or I have a spider web, and spider webs are great examples of how everything comes together. But this will work. Okay, don't mind my leg. So, and on here we have the white layer, and then underneath was a very quiet, subtle other layer of another grid, another web here. And they're interspersed. Now, if you picture, we're talking about empowerment, we're talking about consciousness, we're talking about male, we're talking about female, we're talking about life and cats, we're talking about death, we're talking about this, that. If you put a subject matter at all of these little points, and then you start drawing energy lines like a grid, an electrical grid, a telephone grid, a grid of on the map. If you look at a spider webs are great. There's this type of web. And if you see that there's an energy line to this point, it's connected even to this point up here. Because the line of energy keeps moving around, crisscrossing, 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 to eventually touch this point. All right, I'll cover my legs up now. Okay. So this is how everything is connected. That when you have a grid, and you have seen grids and you have unseen grids, so we're talking about the energetic grid. I have an energy thread that is connecting me through here to you through the camera. It is an unseen energy line that is touching you. And some of you, in watching some of the dialogue, some of you might get angry. Some of you might have a welling up of tears. Some of you might end up having memories coming up of something in a dialogue that I'm talking about. It's because it's more than the words and the story I'm telling, but it's the energy that is connected through me, coming through source, to connect through consciousness out to you. This is probably the purest form of communication that you're going to get through a video camera, a television camera. Because what we are transmitting is absolutely this connection. It's not going anywhere else. It has no subliminal messages in it. There is no other agenda. I'm not trying to sell you anything except your own ability to self-empower yourself. But I'm not selling that for anything. I have no books. I have no tapes today. None of that. This is pure information for you to take in and use as you choose. The difference is that if you're watching Disney, if you're watching commercials, if you're watching any television program, if you're watching any televangelist or guru of such on TV or in films, they all have hidden messages. They have subliminal messages that you don't know that what's underneath them. These medical ads, the stuff telling you through the subconscious to buy, this is good for you, this is good for you, and you become obsessed. This is probably the purest form that you're going to get because there's nothing connecting, no other ulterior energies coming through here. That being said, the web, you're connected to it, you're part of this, you're here. I'm here. My camera person is right here. Shelley, she's right over here. We are all intricately connected in this moment in time through this information channel. So in a sense, what's happening in my life and what's happening in Shelley's life is also happening with you energetically. And if we have, and it is therefore so important, and I was reminded this today, before I can sit in front of the camera, I have to remove my masks. I have to be totally vulnerable to the information, to what is I'm sharing, that you can see me in this moment, so that I'm not, so what is coming through is as pure as I can have it in my knowing at this point in time. Does it mean I'm perfect? Absolutely not. I am just as messed up as everybody else, all sorts of different things. Yet when it comes to trying to live a better life, I'm honing this as a skill, as a muscle. And so we are connected in all of these grids. So the consciousness, the life of grace, the energy, the male, female, the everything that we've talked about is like a square on the grid. And there's energy that's going through that, coming back and forth and back and forth. And nothing in nature is static, and nothing in nature is square like this. This is not a natural design. Nature is malleable. There's no tree is exactly symmetrical. It's always something's out of whack. These plants right here, they are balanced. They have a structure to them, but look, there's nothing straight and pretty and correct about them. They grow as the energy of the light. They grow as the energy of the people around. They grow as the DNA and the memory within the cells of the plant dictate. They grow as the soil dictates, as the water dictates. So it can be growing this way, and then you move it and put the plant on another side of the room with another light source, and it will automatically start growing in a different direction. But it's still on a grid. It's still on a connection, an energetic, electrical, per se, connection that is malleable. So I've shown you the grid on my stockings, which is very static, but that's not life. Nothing in life is static, and nothing in life is square and diamonds and pretty like that. At least all my legs. So, everything is connected. And you are an integral part of being in this life of humanity.